You literally just got in off the road,
I
didn't
just flew in about an hour ago. I was in Louisville for about 2.5 weeks teaching at the Jamie Ebersold jazz camps.
you? Uh-huh.
And yeah, just 2.5 weeks of intense teaching and playing concerts back there.
Wow.
So,
And what ages were you teaching?
actually, the ages at the camp there are from age 11 up to 95.
Really?
I think the average age is probably in the late 30s, early 40s. Is the average age of most of the musicians there.
Now, what exactly were you teaching?
Chemistry. I only know how to teach one thing. I was running a combo there, and the my primary role was to unify the combo, teach them how to play together as a group. So the music ultimately comes to the surface, and they become less. Music becomes more. And then I rehearse with them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we have a concert Friday during the afternoon, early evening with the combo. So we prepare maybe 2 or 3 songs in the course of that week and to present in the concert. And then running through a lot of different materials too. Sundays is auditions. The whole day is spent auditioning the students so we know where to place them. So they're placed with players of their same capabilities. So no one really feels out of place. And Jamie doesn't reject anyone. I mean, there's some beginners there that just don't know how to play. So he provides a class for them, and one of the clinicians works with them. There's clinicians from all over the United States go there. People that run the jazz program at North Texas State University in Denton. A lot of people from New York, back east primarily, and a few from out west, of which I'm one of.
Okay, when you start with your class, what is the first thing that you do?
Well, I talk to them. I talk to them about how to play together as a group. In my opinion, the drummer's the most important part of the band, and he's like the catcher on a baseball team. And so when I go up to play with the drummer, I'm listening for where the drummer's putting one. And so the drummer should be listening to me to see where I'm going to put one, so we come to an agreement as quickly as possible. And then the piano or the guitarist, the accompanying instrument, has to hear where we are coming to an agreement, and then put things right in the pocket with us, so things start gluing together. Then the horn section, when they're playing, they're not to play to where the tune is counted off, but to where we are interpreting the count off. And then when everyone realizes everyone is listening to each other, then another commodity comes into the equation, which is trust. And when you have trust, then you're able to take chances, which jazz is all about, having the freedom to take chances. And when you know everyone is listening, then you're not afraid to do that. And if you do the double somersault with a half twist and miss a trapeze bar, you fall into the net of the other person's listening ears. So, and without condemnation. So I talk to them about this and how to make this happen. And then it's just instructing throughout the week and trying to look for faults so you can give constructive criticism and try to help them grow as musicians. Then what I do at that camp at the end of the day, which is 4:30, I keep my doors open an extra hour for anyone that wants to come up for a lesson or talk or ask questions or whatever. So it's a pretty intense long day. Then in the evening we're playing concerts. So
this was 2 weeks?
This was 2.5 weeks, and just before I left for the Jamie Ebersold camp on July 1st, I had just returned from Europe for the second time this year. I was in the Ukraine and in Germany, teaching in the Ukraine and also doing some concerts there and also in Germany.
So what's the difference between teaching in the United States and teaching in the Ukraine?
Oh, not much. The people who love to play jazz, they need to learn the same things, how to work together as a unit and make things musical, and work with individuals in terms of patience, being able to hear their phrases, hear the end of a phrase, so they can take a breath. You know, horn players and singers learn how to phrase before bassists and guitarists and piano players and drummers because they have to breathe. We can just keep breathing and play all we want. So try to work with the students on how to hear the end of a phrase and listen to how the rest of the band is completing the story what they've just played, and then continue on remembering what you've played so you can be telling a story the whole time.
Yeah. Is language a problem?
In the Ukraine, Germany, well, in the Ukraine, not a lot of people speak fluent English there. So yeah, I have a translator when I go to Donetsk. This is my second year I've been in Donetsk, which is right on the border of the Ukraine and Russia. And yeah, I need an interpreter there. Not too much in Germany. Most people can understand the English. They might not be able to speak it, or it might be they don't have enough confidence in themselves to speak it, but they can understand it.
Well, what are you working on? What can we expect in the next few months, 6 months, year?
Well, I just completed a memorial album for my son, Scott, who passed away last year in February, and a CD with guitarist Larry Coons from Los Angeles and Greg Goebel and myself, just piano, guitar, and bass. And I wrote all new material for that album. And that album is done. It has to be mastered now, but that project's done. There's a new CD that just came out here last month called Circle of Three with Greg Goebel, myself, and John Gross.
Oh, boy.
And I've got my Christmas concerts that I'm going to do in December. I've got 16 traditional Christmas hymns that I've totally reharmonized now and written parts for 2 tenors, Tim Wilcox and Rob Davis, Dan Gaynor on piano, Charlie Doggett on drums, and myself. And we have about 5 or 6 concerts set up so far for December for that particular group. Coming up right away, there's a performance with my quintet at Jimmy Mac's on August the 12th, which includes Greg Goebel will be playing piano, Charlie Doggett on drums, John Gross on tenor, and Rob Davis on tenor. And then that same group will be playing at the Vancouver Wine and Jazz Festival on the 28th. And then the trio with Charlie Doggett and Greg and myself on the 27th. So I have those things coming up. Plus I'm teaching in Seattle. I have to leave here on Wednesday to go up and teach in Seattle.
Well, I got you here. I can't leave without asking you to talk to me about John Gross.
Oh. What do you want to hear?
The secret of John Gross.
You'll have to ask John Gross about that, but I doubt he knows. He's a very fluent musician. You know, he has a great time feel, and he's a true artist and has his way of playing the music. And just like all of us, some people like it and some people don't. You know, it's just the way it is. But he plays, he gives 100% of himself, and just has a great, unique style.
Probably one of the most underrated saxophone players ever.
Underrated.
Well, not by musicians, by the general public.
Well, yeah, I think it's an acquired taste. It's not easy, I think, for a lot of people to get close to his music. It's not ultra melodic, you know. He can play that way if he wants to. He chooses not to. I mean, there are so many incredible players out there that we've never heard of. You know, there's just a bunch of them. But you can't play this music. You can't have to be known to be noticed. That's not why we play it. Because we love to play it, and it's a delicate balance because we need to promote ourselves because then we can get gigs, hopefully. But there's got to be a balance there because you can't put the focus on trying to promote yourself and sacrifice the music. You know, you got to decide what's most important. I think with John, it's definitely the music's the most important. Obviously, he'd like to be working more, like all of us. But
how can you be working more? How can you be working more? How is that possible?
Well, I have been busy now since February. I've been traveling a lot. I have my whole career. I don't have illusions of grandeur, so I'm pretty thankful for everything that happens. And so when I say we could all be working more in terms of supporting our families, But yeah, maybe right now it's time for a rest. I need to get some sleep.